A very pleasant good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the People's Forum of In the Streets with Big Stone. It is with the deepest regret again I have to announce the passing of an icon. We're talking about Lee Scratch Perry. This one is tough, ladies and gentlemen, because as you know, Lee Scratch Perry is a pioneer when it comes to Jamaican reggae music, and is also listed amongst the greats of the greats like Robert Nesta Marley. I was brought to this news by my friend who keeps abreast with everything that happens in Jamaica. We're talking about DJ Walden. He was the one that sent me the clippings that Lee Scratch Perry is dead. Let's go to the Jamaica Observer for this one. The eccentric artist slash producer died in the Noel Holmes Hospital in Lucea on Sunday morning. He was 85 years old. Perry was born in Kendal, Hanover. He made his name in the late 1960s and throughout the 1970s as a producer of cutting-edge music by revolutionary artists. His Upsetter label produced some of the greatest reggae songs, including Small Axe and Duppy Conqueror by the Wailers. Perry, who recorded as an artist in the late 1960s and 70s, is popular throughout Europe and parts of the United States. In 2003, he won the Grammy Award for Best Reggae Album for the aptly titled Jamaican EP. Now, let's go now into the details of who is Lee Scratch Perry. Let's take an in-depth look into the man, the music, and the legend. Rainford U. Perry was born on the 20th of March 1936 in Kendal, Jamaica, in the parish of Hanover, the third child of Ena Davis and Henry Perry. His mother had strong African traditions originating from her Yoruba ancestry that she passed on to her son. His parents were both laborers, but his father later became a professional dancer. Lee left school at age 15 and lived in Hanover, where he didn't have much regard for working and preferred to play dominoes and live according to his own desires. He eventually wound up in Clarendon, where he got into the dance and music scene, where he earned his name, the Neat Little Thing. These words sent me to Kingston. Kingston means King's Stone, the son of the king. The stone that I was thrown in the grill sent me to KINGSTON for my graduation, where he apprenticed at Studio One. Perry's musical career began in the late 1950s as a record seller for Clement Coxsone Dodd's sound system. As his sometimes turbulent relationship with Dodd developed, he found himself performing a variety of important tasks at Dodd's studio, One Hit Factory, going on to record nearly 30 songs for the label. Disagreements between the pair due to personality and financial conflicts led him to leave the studio and seek new musical outlets. He soon found a new home at Joe Gibbs' Amalgamated Records. Working with Gibbs, Perry continued his recording career, but once again financial problems caused conflict. Perry broke ranks with Gibbs and formed his own label, Upsetter Records, in 1968. His first major single, People Funny Boy, which was an insult directed at Gibbs, sold well with 60,000 copies sold in Jamaica alone. It is notable for its innovative use of a sample, a crying baby, as well as a fast chugging beat that would soon become unidentifiably as reggae. Similarly, in Acrimonious 1967, single as Lee King Perry Run for Cover was likewise aimed at Sir Coxsone. From 1968 until 1972, he worked with his studio band The Upsetters. During the 1970s, Perry released numerous recordings on a variety of record labels that he controlled, and many of his songs were popular both in Jamaica and the United Kingdom. He soon became known for his innovative production techniques as well as his eccentric character. In 1970, Perry produced and released the Wailers track Mr. Brown. With its unusual use of studio effects and eerie opening highlighting his unique approach to production. In 1973, Perry built a studio in his backyard, the Black Ark, to have more control over his productions and continue to produce notable musicians such as Bob Marley and the Wailers, Junior Bars, Junior Mervyn, the Eptones, the Congos, and Max Romeo. He also started the Black Art label, on which many of the productions from the studio appear. With his own studio at his disposal, Perry's production became more lavish, as the energetic producer was able to spend as much time as he wanted on the music he produced. Virtually everything Perry recorded in the Black Ark was done using basic recording equipment. Through sonic sleight of hand, Perry made its sound unique. Paul Douglas mentions, Scratchy had a particular sound and everybody was fascinated by his sound. He had his way of putting things together. It was just his sound and it influenced a lot of people. I've even gone to the Black Ark within Eric Gale for that Negril album. I remember myself and Val Douglas. We laid some tracks there. Eric Gale overdubbed stuff on there, but I honestly don't remember what happened to it. Perry remained behind the mixing desk for many years, producing songs and albums that stand out as a high point in reggae history. By 1978, stress and unwanted outside influence began to take their toll. Both Perry and the Black Ark quickly fell into a state of disrepair. Eventually, the studio burned to the ground. Perry has constantly insisted that he burnt the Black Ark himself in a fit of rage. After the demise of the Black Ark in the early 1980s, Perry spent time in England and the United States, performing live and making erratic records with a variety of collaboration. His career took a new part in 1984 when he met Mark Downey, Marcus Upbeat, with whom he worked on the 1986 album Battle of Armageddon for Trojan. It was not until the late 1980s when he began working with British producer Adrian Sherwood and Neil Fraser, who's better known as My Professor, that Perry's career began to get back on solid ground again. Perry also has attributed the recent resurgence of his creative muse to his deciding to quit drinking alcohol and smoking cannabis. In the early days, the act of producing for Perry was a frenzied and ritualistic one, where he stated that he blew smoke into the microphone so that the weed would get into the sound. Perry stated in an interview that he wanted to see if it was the smoke making the music or Lee Perry making the music. I found out it was me and that I don't need to smoke. In 2003, Perry won a Grammy for Best Reggae Album with the album Jamaica E.T. In 2004, Rolling Stone ranked of Swiss musician and performed under the name Lee Perry and the White Belly Rats and toured the United States in 2006 and 2007 using the New York City-based group Dub Is a Weapon as its backing band. Fast track to 2019 saw the release of The Revelation of Lee Scratch Perry, a film about the making of his 2010 album Revelation, directed by Steve Marshall for State of Emergency. The film features intimate behind-the-scenes footage of Perry at work in his home studio in the Swiss Alps and an in-depth interview. In April 2019, hip-hop producer Mr. Green announced that he would be doing a record made out of Perry's famous audio stems. In July 2019, Perry announced that the record is entitled Super 8 Versus Open Door, that it would release through Tough Kongs Records on the 19th of August 2019. The record combines over 20 different genres of music and was critically acclaimed. Hypebeast said it was Perry's best work in years and that it pushes boundaries of various genres. The record reached a top 10 on the iTunes Reggae charts and the top 100 on the Billboard Reggae charts. Perry resides in Switzerland with his wife, Mirelli, and their 2 children. He had 4 other children by the name of Cleopatra Perry, Marsha Perry, Omar Perry, and Marvin Sean Perry in various parts of the world. In 2015, his new studio in Switzerland, his secret laboratory, was damaged by a fire that also destroyed stage costume and unreleased recordings. Sunday, August 29th, came the end of an era, came the end of a legend. One of his famous words were, "Everything started from scratch." Lee, you have came and you've done great works. You have brought to the world the greatness of the Wailers, Bob Marley, Junior Byles, and a list of others too numerous to mention. We will certainly miss your great music, your great artistic skills, the great personality, a little uncanny at times, but nonetheless, it was all Lee Scratch Perry. It was an honor to be able to witness some of your works and to listen to some of your great music. Mr. Perry, you did Jamaica proud. You helped to put reggae music further on the map, and so people can enjoy some of your greatest works in years, possibly centuries to come. We will definitely miss you here at Big Stone Records. And of course, all of my friends and all of my musical associates miss you dearly. Lee Scratch Perry, you are an icon. You lived an icon, and you died an icon. Everything starts from scratch. Farewell, my brother. Sleep well. You came, you saw, and you definitely conquered. Sleep in peace, oh great one. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Please like and share this video. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, now is the most appropriate time for you to do so. Thank you.